Yeah, it's just a quiz over the first few sections. So it's not a test, but some of you I know want to bring up your grade before report card. That comes up Friday. That comes out. Doesn't come out Friday. It ends Friday. So you must do good on this quiz. And if you have any makeup work, you must turn it in by today. Okay, by 7th period, because you can't turn it in 7th period tomorrow and think that I can get those. I can't get those grades in, before end of day if you do that. So makeup work is due today at the end of the day. Quiz tomorrow. I'm hoping it'll help bring up grades. So let's go over these together. I have this monomial. That means I have this one term, all these numbers and letters, okay? And it wants to know the degree. When you're finding the degree, you just count how many variables there are in that one term. So I have 6 and 5. How many do I have? 11. So the first question on your quiz tomorrow, you are just going to count the variables. There are, in this case, 11. It's going to match tomorrow. Your first question is going to be just like this one, okay? How many questions are on here? 17. There's not going to be 17 tomorrow, okay? But it is going to kind of go in this order. Or there could be a one like number 2. I'm guessing there might not be both of these on there. It could be. How many variables do I have here? 7. Just X, and it has the 7. So your first one was B, and then this one is 7. Does everybody get that? You just count how many variables there are. All right? No questions so far? Yeah. Oh, I didn't give you that one? Okay. There you go. All right. Now, number 3, we're moving on to the next thing. So then the next section on your quiz, all right, you'll add or subtract. That's all you do. You just add how many terms there are. So if I have 5 of them and I add 6 of them, how many do I have? 11 of those exact same things. Okay? So it's D. It is not C. Remember, you don't add exponents unless you're multiplying. Are we multiplying? Do not add those exponents. Okay? On the next one, if I have 6y to the 4th and I add 10 of those, how many do I have? 16. 16 of those things. Does that make sense, y'all? Are we okay with that? Yes. Kind of. No questions so far? Easy so far? I just don't want y'all to get confused. Okay. Let's move on. Number 5 says, write it in standard form and then tell me what type of polynomial it is. Okay? So the first thing you need to do is write it in standard form. Some of you forgot to do that on the worksheet that you had. Okay? So which term comes first? Which one has the highest degree? The G to the 3rd. And it's negative. Does everybody see that it's negative? Yeah? So I'm going to write negative G to the 3rd. Is everybody good with that? And look, since I wrote it, I'm just going to cross it out. Then what comes next? The 6G squared. So it's going to be a plus, because it's positive, 6G squared. And I'm going to mark that one out. Then what? 9G, because it still has a variable, and it's positive, so what kind of sign do I use for that? A plus 9G. And then what's the last thing I would write? Minus 4. Okay, so there's our polynomial. Now we name it. So it is a degree what? 3. Degree 3. And if it's a one term, it's a monomial. If it's 2 terms, it's a binomial. If it's 3 terms, it's a trinomial. Is it 3 terms? It's 4 terms. So you're just going to say, it's just 4-term polynomial. Or polynomial with 4 terms. Or you could just call it a polynomial.
You want to say 4 terms?
Yeah. So, but you would say degree 3, because it says based on degree, and then the number of terms. So polynomial with 4 terms. Now, you wouldn't write it like that. If it was 3 terms, all you would write is trinomial, because like a tricycle has 3 wheels. Okay, if it was 2 terms, it would be like a bicycle, 2 wheels, binomial. Okay. Is everybody kind of okay with that one? Maybe. Oh yeah. So that's what we'll call it in Algebra 2. Yeah. So y'all, if you have your answers, if you took a picture of the answers yesterday, it probably calls it a cubic polynomial with 4 terms, something like that. That is what the book uses. We will learn that in Algebra 2, okay? Because the second degree is quadratic. Have y'all even learned quadratic functions and cubic functions and quartic functions? No. So am I going to put that on here? No. Okay? Y'all just aren't quite ready for that part. So let's just keep it easy. It's degree 3, and there's 4 terms. Okay? Now we'll move along to the next one. For this one, it wants us to add. So y'all, there are 2 ways you can do this. I'm going to write it. I'm going to line them up, and I'm going to show you both ways. So the first one, I'll just write it. Some of you may prefer this method. I don't. I like the other method, but I'll write this for you. That's a 3u squared, and then I have a 5.
We can't just work it out?
Yes, that's what I'm going to do. But some people like to do it like this. So I'll write it. Then they line up a 6u to the 3rd, my 8u is here, and my 2. Does that make sense? Yes, no? No, we don't like this method?
No, I like that.
Okay, I'm just showing you this. If you like this method, do it this way. I prefer just to add like terms down here. But if you like this method, go ahead and add it that way. The way I would do it is I'm going to say, okay, I have a 3u to the 3rd. What matches it?
The 6u to the 3rd.
So what is 3u to the 3rd plus 6u to the 3rd? 9u to the 3rd. And I'm thinking I can tell my answer, but let's be careful. Okay, let's finish it. Then let's go to the next one. I'll change color. I have a 3u squared. Do I have any other 3u squareds?
No.
No. So I just plus nothing. It's going to be 3u squared. Bring that down. That one also has a 3u squared. Okay? Can I keep going?
Mm-hmm.
Now next, I'm just kind of going order. 3, 2, here's just my u. So it's 0 plus negative 8u. So it's a negative 8u or minus 8u. So that has a minus 8u, so does that. And what's the last thing? 5 plus 2 is 7. I'm wondering why they have both of those as the same answer.
Because it's not A.
I would tell you to go with A because A is in order. It didn't tell us though to put it in order, but just go with A because it's in the right order. Do we get that? Kind of, yes. You're just adding the like terms. Just add the numbers out front. Okay, did anybody do it this way? If you did it this way, did you get the right answer? Nobody did it that way? Does anybody want me to do it this way? No? Okay. Okay, then we move along to the difference. So let's be careful here. All right? Let's see, I'm going to look for my highest degree, and it looks like the square, right? W squared. So if I have 6w squared minus 7w squared, what is that?
Negative.
Yeah, negative 1w squared. I wouldn't put the 1 normally. I'm just going to put it for now. Is everybody okay with that? Normally what I would write is this right here. Negative w squared. Either one of those is fine. Now let's move to the next thing. It looks like negative 7w minus 5w. Be careful. Negative 7 minus 5.
You have to add it. No, wait, you have to add it.
You have to do type in negative 7 minus 5. It's negative 12w. So make sure you understand that. Minus 12w. And then the last one, Be careful with it. Type in exactly what it says. It says -6 minus, what number is that? -2. What is -6 minus -2? And it's a -4. Okay, so you have to be careful with your positives and negatives. The best thing to do is to check yourself with your calculator. Just don't mess up because you didn't check yourself, okay? Is everybody okay with that? Yes, no, kind of. So on the adding and subtracting problems, your variables, they just stay the same. Now we're going to switch gears. Are we ready for number 8 or do we need a minute? I think we're ready. Okay, I'll erase this. So number 8, now that we're multiplying, what are we going to do with exponents? We're going to change those, right? We're going to change our variables. So I'm going to take 2n times n squared. Well, what's that number going to be? The number out front. 2, yeah?
2.
And then how many n's are there?
3.
N to the third. 2n to the third. 2n times n squared. Okay, are we good with that? Yes? Now let's keep going. We got to distribute it to all of them. What is 2n times 3n?
6n to the second.
Yeah, so 2 times 3 is 6, and I have an n here and an n here. So it's an n squared. And you'll kind of see it's going in order. 3, 2, now we'll probably have 1. Okay, what is 2n times 4? 8n. Okay, and so your answer is A. Click A. So just don't forget your variables and don't forget to multiply. How is that? Is that bad? Are we good so far? I want y'all to do really well on this quiz. And see, like 8 and 9, they're the same type of problem. I'm going to do them both, but on your quiz, I'm probably not going to have both of them on there. I can't even remember which ones. So, can I erase that and let's move on? Yeah? Okay, so the next one, and I don't have a lot of room here, 8p times -3p squared. So that's a whole lot. So let's just look at the numbers first. 8 times -3 is -24.
Yeah.
And then how many p's are there? 1, 2, 3. Does everybody see that? I'm going to put p to the third. You add the exponents because we're multiplying. Now let's go to the next one. What's 8 times 6? 48. And how many p's do I have? 1, 2. And then 8p times -2 is
16.
and it's -16p. So make sure you put your minus sign. Bless you. Okay, can I erase? Are we good? Wait, what's your writing? Alright, I don't think we're good. Yes. Alright, number 10. On number 10, they don't want us to factor out just yet. We're getting there. On number 10, they just want to know what number and how many variables can I factor out. Okay, what do they have in common? That's that common word right there. So let's look at 18 and 42. What's the biggest number that goes into 18 and 42? So it's 6. So I know I'm looking at a 6. Now, this one has 3 x's. This one has 4. How many do they have in common?
3.
Only 3. You have to pick the lowest amount. They only have 3 in common. So your answer is A. Does that make sense, y'all? Because it's like you have to take it out of there. You can't take more than you have. Right? Think of it like in terms of a bank. Can you take out more than you have? No. Same with these x's. Okay? This one only has 3 x's. So you can only factor out 3. You can't factor out more than it has. Okay, are we good with that one? Yes. Okay, number 11. All right. This one has, okay, same thing. So again, there probably won't be two of these on there, just one. But what number goes into 45, 18, and 9? 9. Okay? So I'm going to write my 9. Now, how many x's can I pull out? 2. I can only pull out the x squared. Okay? And that's your answer. They didn't want us to factor it. They just wanted to know what could factor out. What's your greatest common factor? Are we good with that? All right. Then, just like on your quiz, it's going in the same order. The next two problems, we're going to actually find that number like we did here, and then we're going to factor it out. Okay? So this one goes a step further. All right. Can I erase this? I guess so. So what number goes into 2, 4, and 8? 2? Yeah. 2. And then how many x's can I factor out? That one has 3. That one has 2. But that one only has 1. So I can only factor out 1x. Then we have to see what's left over. When I divide that out or factor it, then you have to see, okay, what is left over? So if I had 2 there, what's 2 divided by 2?
Can't you just work it out and it'll be easier on you?
What do you mean?
I worked out the very first one and then you get the answer. You work out each one.
Yes, but what would you do on number 13? Because it's not multiple choice. You're right. You could just do that and that would be easier. But on number 13, there's nothing to work out. You would have to figure it out. So I'm just, that way you're used to it. She's saying she just distributed to see what matched. But if it's not multiple choice, you can't do that. All right? So I'm just dividing. So 2 divided by 2, I'll write the 1 for now. I have 3 x's and I pulled 1 out. How many are left? X squared. Is everybody good with that? Yes? No? Look, I'll write it right here. Let me write it above it. This is what I'm dealing with. So I'm saying 2 divided by 2 is 1. I pulled out 1x, so how many are left over? X squared. Now let's keep going. Plus sign. What's 4 divided by 2? 2. I had 2 x's, but I pulled 1 out, so there's still 1 left over. And then what's 8 divided by 2? 4. I pulled that x out, so I'm not going to write any more down. So look at that for a second and make sure you understand it. Yes, the answer is A. Okay, does anybody have a question on that? We're good? I can move on? Yeah? Okay. I can erase. Anybody still writing? No. Blank stares. I'm hoping y'all get this. I'll write this one down on a piece of paper so I know that there's enough room. Let's see. If I had do that. Let's see. This one is 40w to the 13th plus 16w to the 8th. So what number goes into 40 and 16? The biggest number, though, that goes into it. 2 goes into it. 4 goes into it. What else? 8. 8 goes into it. Okay, and I think that that's the biggest number that goes into 8. I mean, that goes into 40 and 16. Okay, so I know I can factor out an 8. How many w's can I factor out?
8.
8. Only 8. Now let's divide that out. Factor it out. What's 40 divided by 8? 5. And then if I had 13 and I took 8 out already, how many are left? 5. Okay. What's 16 divided by 8?
2.
And then I already took all those out. So Because remember, when you're dividing, you just subtract them. So 13 minus 8 was 5. Okay? How are we with that one? We're good? Okay, then we're to the last little bit of stuff learned. Okay, I told y'all there was no word problems on this quiz. So for this, let's see, our first one, we have 5h minus 5 and 4h minus 3. How do we do this? It says use distributive property. Y'all, I don't care if you distribute, if you FOIL method, whatever method you decide. It's the same thing. So we're going to take our 5h and we're going to multiply it to everything over here. So what is 5 times 4? 20. And that's right. I have 2 h's. So I'm putting h squared. Are we good with that? Let's keep going. We have to multiply 5 times negative 3. What is that? Negative 15. And don't forget your h. Several of you on that paper I looked at, you were forgetting your variables. Don't forget that because it'll mess it all up. Okay? Now, negative 5 times 4. Negative 20. And don't forget your h. It's right there. And negative 5 times negative 3, positive 15. Can we combine anything? Do we have any like terms? Yeah. Yeah, so that's a negative 35h. So y'all, and just like this on your quiz tomorrow, you should have something squared, just one variable, and then a number. Most of the time, that's what we're going to have on these two problems. What number are we on? 14 and 15. I'm trying to see. I have a quiz. All right. Can I keep going to the next one? Yeah? All right, so the next problem we have, I'll turn it over. Negative 2h plus 4. I didn't do this one yet, did I? And 4h plus 2. So I'm going to take negative 2h times 4h. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. H squared. Very good. Negative 2 times 2, negative 4, and we had an h. 4 times 4, 16, and I have 1h. And 4 times 2 is 8. Can you combine anything?
Negative 4 and 8, 16.
That's right. Negative 4 plus 16 is a positive 12. Okay, ready for the next one? Mm-hmm. No, not yet? Okay, I'll give you a second. It looks like I have 10 problems on there. I can tell you which 10 it matches. Okay? So that you can really focus on those, I think. Yeah. Okay. Are we ready? All right. Number 16. 2n squared plus 4n plus 2 times 2n minus 3. So I like to start with the smaller one. I'm just going to distribute the 2n to everything. So 2 times 2.
4.
And then n times n squared. Okay, 2n times 4n. So it's 2 times 4. 8. And then I have n squared because there's 2 n's. And then we have an extra one to do here. 2 times 2. 4. And don't forget our n. Okay, so that's the first one. Now we're going to distribute the what?
The 3.
And it is
Negative.
negative. So I'm going to take negative 3 times 2n squared. Negative 6n squared. Okay? Negative 3 times 4n. Negative 12n. And negative 3 times 2, negative 6. Are we done with that one? No. Now that's partial credit. You did part of the work, okay? But then you must finish solving it. So I don't have any other 4n to the thirds or into the thirds, so I'm just going to bring that one down. And I'm just going to mark it off so I know I did that already. Do I have any other n squareds? Yes. So 8 minus 6 is 2. Very good. So I'm going to mark those off. And then I have 4 minus 12, which is what? Negative 8n. That's right. And then just our last thing is minus 6. What answer choice is that? Let's see. Y'all got C? Okay. And then we'll do our last one. Okay, ready? All right, here we go. 2k times 2k squared. So 2 times 2. And then k times k squared is k to the third. Okay, 2 times negative 5.
Negative 10.
And k times k, k squared. Okay, and then 2 times negative 2, and don't forget that k. Now we distribute the 3. 3 times 2,
6k.
and we have a k squared. Can't leave off a variable. It's there, don't leave it. 3 times negative 5, negative 15 with a k, and 3 times negative 2, negative 6. And then we just combine our like terms. So I have a 4k to the third. There were no other k to the thirds. And then looking at k squares, I've got negative 10 and 6. So negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4. And then negative 4 minus 15. What is that?
Your air conditioner. That thing, no day. Like it's.
I see that. That's the... Hold on. It's normally not like that. Okay, that should have fixed it. Okay. Then where am I? Oh, on the K's. Negative 4 minus 15. Negative 19. And then we have 6, or minus 6, I mean. Okay? Don't forget your variables. How do we feel about this? Do we feel good?
Why did we for 17? This is easy.
Wait. What about 17?
How come you just distribute everything?
Because this one had way more terms. This is what we did yesterday. Y'all be quiet for just a second. So this one has 2 terms. This one has 3. So I'm going to take one polynomial, this one, and distribute all of it to all of these. So that's why this one must be distributed 1, 2, 3 times, because this one doesn't have 2 terms, but it has 3 terms now. And then you have to take this number and distribute it 1, 2, 3 times. Okay? Does that kind of make sense? Now, because that one's just a step further than what we did the day before.
Well, you write for the test, you write 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can just write that if that helps you. Now, y'all want the ones that look like, so y'all look, a really good review would be, y'all listen, to go through this whole thing again. But if you want to know, like, what it's going to look more like, let me look at both of them. It looks like number 1. Okay, so you'd put a star by number 1 as you study. Then it looks like number 3. But if it had a minus sign, what if it said 10 minus 2? Then you would subtract, right? Or yeah, if that one had a minus sign, it would be negative 1x to the 4th. So it could have a minus sign, like one of the tests has a minus sign, one of them has a plus sign. I mean, not test, it's a quiz. So but it's basically, it looks a lot like number, what did I say, 3? Yeah. Okay, then I have one like number 6. Okay, and 7. 6 and 7. There's an addition one and a subtraction one. Okay, and then there's one a lot like number 8. And then like number, I'm trying to see, 10. And then 13. And then 14. Where am I? 13, 14, and 15. And then the last one looks like number 16.
How many questions are there?
10. Okay. So let me pause this.